Here's a quick look at my preparation for a live gig I'm doing. It's the Grammy pre-telecast. This is an event that happens before the actual Grammys. They give out 70 awards. These are the awards they can't fit on the main show in prime time. It's a great band. We're going to do 70 songs. Each award gets a song, so I had to do a lot of kind of preparation. The charts are great, though. The band is great. Make sure you click the link below if you want to check out the masterclass. Here we go. So this song was a really big deal for all of us in the early 70s. The record was kind of groundbreaking. Billy Cobham's Spectrum. It combined rock and jazz. It was a jazz rock record. And Billy Cobham is phenomenal, just amazing drummer. The bass player on that record is the bass player on the gig this week, Lee Sklar. I know him well. I played with him a lot. And every time I play with him, I kind of have to pinch myself. A lot of musicians are that way. When you play with Lee Sklar, he's played on all these amazing records, including this one. He was the bass player on this record at that moment. So he'll be on the gig playing the bass part that he played on this record. So it's pretty cool. It's a simple song in a way. There's this parts to their twists. That part right there, if I count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, it helps me understand how it goes. But that's still a hard thing for me to get. And then it goes back to straight time. And then the really odd part that's really cool, you know. And these altered chords. Here they have it listed as E flat 7 flat 5 and then just E flat over D flat, which is cool too. Really, really cool stuff. I won't be reading this chart because I kind of had to memorize this. The other guitar player on the gig is Dean Parks, another famous recording musician. He's a sight reader, so if he decides to take this melody, he'll study it a bit because there are a couple of twists in it, but he can pretty much sight read this. So if he wants to do it, I'm going to let him do it, but I'm ready to do it if he wants me to. And then on the gig, we'll just be jamming over the vamp some of the time. Like this first part up here, we'll just keep repeating that, and then they'll tag the ending somehow. They'll probably cue the ending, and we'll go just at the end of it. So Pride and Joy by Stevie Ray Vaughan is on the list, and I've worked pretty hard on this one because his hands are big and his talent was huge. So I'm kind of doing it my own way a little bit, because in order to get it done and get it done in time, I have to take a little of him and a little of me and try and combine it. One thing I did do is I have another guitar tuned down to E flat because that's where he played it, and I have a feeling when the chart comes it'll be in E flat also, so I might have to have a second guitar sitting there. So here's what I come up with. So that's basically it. We'll see what the chart actually wants, but I've learned the intro and kind of did it in a way that I can play it strongly. My fingers are not like his. It's amazing what he does. It sounds like four hands at certain times. Sounds like two guitar players at certain times. So I think that'll work. And what helps me actually on this, I was trying to practice it clean. But by making it distorted, it actually, the sloppiness actually fills everything out. So that's been kind of a gift on this. It's kind of okay to be a bit sloppy on it, I think. Use the open strings if you want. Bump into some other strings. So for me, I'm definitely gonna put up a pretty distorted tone so I can kind of, it'll kind of help glue it together, I think. So we're doing Cult of Personality by Living Colour, and even though the chart hasn't been prepared yet, I don't know when the chart's going to come, and I'm 4 or 5 days away from the first rehearsal, so I have to learn this. It's a kind of a demanding riff. I mean, this part of it, that's basic enough, but it's got these twists in it. There's that part. And the fingering may not be exact, but I'm just doing fingerings that are comfortable for my hands so that I can be bulletproof on this for the gig. It may not be the way he played it. It may not even sound exactly right. I found by using some open strings, I'm sure they didn't go. But for me on the gig, that's going to be the best way to make it bulletproof. Not quite right. And then I jump up. Cool part. So I'm kind of hearing that kind of thing, and once again, it's an approximation because I just need to make it sound good for the gig. And honestly, I won't make it as distorted. I think it's a little more modern to have it a little cleaner, but if the musical director wants it more distorted, I'm going to have an extra, kind of gain pedal sitting there. Maybe the EVH pedal or something so I can really crank up the gain, because on the record, it's very distorted. But I really like hearing the clean notes. Sounds a little more modern to me. A little more practicing to do on that. It's demanding. I really have to burn this one in so that when I show up on the first rehearsal, I can cover this, because everybody else will have it, I think. So now I've moved on to Born to Be Wild, and the challenge here is a bit of a stretch for me. My little finger has to stretch pretty far. My hands are not that big. So I have to arch my body over the guitar and kind of bring my wrist down to try and get this stretch, because in order to make that stretch, I kind of have to be in this position with my wrist way down here. See, I didn't make it that last time. Once again, with a distorted tone, a little bit of sloppiness is okay, because that record was made in 67 or 68 or whenever, and you could be a little more, loose. So, but I really want to try and nail that stretch. So that was a challenge too. Now I'm a little more warmed up and it's a little easier, but I was surprised at actually how hard it was to do these chords in that riff. Getting there. Ah. It's fun no matter what.